Hello and welcome back. I'm Barbara O'Neill, and today we're diving into a crucial topic for maintaining overall health, the acid-alkaline balance. If you've ever wondered how the pH levels in your body affect your well-being, this video is for you. The balance between acid and alkaline in our bodies plays a significant role in various health aspects, including energy levels, digestion, and immune function. Understanding this balance can help you make better dietary choices and improve your overall health. In this lecture, we'll break down the science behind acid and alkaline balance, explore how different foods impact this balance, and offer practical tips for maintaining a healthy pH level in your body. So, let's get started.
So we'll begin by looking at the acid-alkaline scale, and as we go through this, we will see its importance. So at one end, we've got acid. This is the pH scale, and pH means potential hydrogen. When you dissolve acid in a solution, it gives off hydrogen ions. So pH means potential hydrogen. That's what you're testing when you test for acid-alkaline. Up the other end, we've got alkaline, and its reading is 14, and in the middle, we've got neutral. So neutral is neither acid nor alkaline. Blood has a reading on the pH scale, and blood's reading is between 7.35 and 7.4. If blood pH goes up to 8, the person will go into a coma and die of alkalosis. And if blood pH drops down to 7.22, the person will go into a coma and die of acidosis. So there cannot be much variation there, can there? And we don't have to worry about the pH of our blood, because there are two organs that are constantly monitoring and balancing the pH of the blood. One is the lungs, and this explains why when you did your high intensity this morning, which I'm sure you all did, as you started to go running up those hills or on your exercise bike or on your push-ups, notice your breathing changed. Your breathing starts to go very, very deep. And the reason for that is that all the little muscle cells are burning more oxygen. They're giving off more carbon dioxide, lactic acid, creating a more acid condition in the blood. And so the brain says to the lungs, breathe deep, because oxygen alkalizes. And when you're breathing out some of the carbon dioxide, which creates an acid environment. So it's in that way that your breathing helps to control the acid-alkaline balance. The other organ that has a part to play in monitoring this is the kidneys. Now, the kidneys do it in a fascinating way. So let me show you how this happens. This is the smallest unit in the kidney, the most important. It's a nephron, and this is the little Bowman's capsule, which is the little filtering unit. Now, there are 1 million in one kidney, so we have approximately 2 million of these. And in those little filtering units, the blood is filtered, and then the blood weaves around these tubules, and then it comes out into the bladder where it's urinated out. So the blood comes in, it weaves around the filtering units, and then it comes out and weaves around the tubules. In your kidneys, which is basically like this, those little filtering units are all on the edge, like this, called the cortex. And these tubules basically weave like that into the ureter, into the bladder, and then there's the ureter from the other kidney. So that's what it looks like. In a 24-hour period day, those little filtering units filter 1,800 litres of blood. Now, we don't have that much blood, but every 2 minutes, 1.2 litres is being filtered, so it's continually going through. Out of that 180 litres of blood, 1800 litres of blood, 180 litres of filtrate is filtered out. But we only urinate 1.5 litres. Aren't you glad we don't urinate 180 litres a day? Otherwise you'd be leaving this lecture every 5 minutes. God is good. What an amazing body we live in. Well, where's the other approximately 160 litres? Well, there's a reabsorption in the tubule area. So with this little Bowman's capsule, this little filtering unit in the kidney, and there they all are on the edge, the blood comes in, it's filtered, the filtrate goes around the tubules to be urinated out, but notice how the blood weaves around the tubules, and it is in this reabsorption area where your pH is being monitored. Now let's say the pH of the blood is getting too acid. Well, it is here that extra acid is dropped into the tubules to be urinated out. But let's say the pH of the blood is getting too alkaline. It is here that extra acid is pulled out of the tubules and back into the blood. So every 2 minutes, 1.2 litres is being filtered. So there's this constant monitoring to keep the blood pH within that range, and you can see why.
Let's explore how the kidneys maintain this balance further. The process includes filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. Blood enters the kidneys through the renal artery and goes to the glomerulus, a network of capillaries. Here, blood pressure forces water and solutes out of the blood and into the Bowman's capsule, creating a filtrate. The filtrate moves through the renal tubules where reabsorption and secretion occur. Essential nutrients, water and ions are reabsorbed back into the bloodstream, while waste products and excess ions are secreted into the tubules. This process is crucial for maintaining the body's internal balance. Hormones like aldosterone and antidiuretic hormones play significant roles in this regulation. Aldosterone increases the reabsorption of sodium and water, which helps to raise blood pressure and blood volume. ADH increases water reabsorption in the kidneys, reducing urine output and conserving water in the body. The kidneys also regulate electrolyte levels such as sodium, potassium and calcium, which are vital for nerve function, muscle contractions and overall cellular function. By adjusting the excretion and reabsorption of these electrolytes, the kidneys ensure that our body's internal environment remains stable and healthy.
Now the pH at the cellular level should be approximately 6.5. Now that's very slightly acid, and there is a reason for that. You see, the most acidic substance is sulfuric acid. And sulfuric acid travels at the speed of light. The most alkaline mineral is calcium. And on the scale of speed, calcium doesn't even move. So it's a speed thing. Let me give you an illustration. The hydroponic gardener is always testing the pH of the water that the roots of his plants sit in, because if the water goes too acid, the roots burn. If the water goes too alkaline, he doesn't get the speed of uptake of minerals out of the water and into the plant. Can you see it's a speed thing? Now let's go to our cell. Now, we've been going into the CBD, the central business district of the human body. Do you remember? We'll just do a half cell today. Half cell. Remember the glucose goes in and there's a 20-step pathway? Okay, students, how much energy does that give us? 2 units of energy. End result of that 20-step pathway is a chemical form of glucose called pyruvate. Pyruvate is the chemical form of glucose that gets fed into the powerhouse, called the powerhouse because this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-step pathway delivers for us a whopping 36 units of energy. Did you experience that this morning after your morning walk, run, hills? So it's an 8-step pathway, 8 little chemical reactions. But actually what's happening is That's an oxygen pathway. What's happening is every chemical reaction you're getting sometimes 3 units of energy, sometimes 4 units of energy. So at every chemical reaction, it's giving off that energy. Now, if the cellular level is getting too acid, that's all going too fast. If at the cellular level it's going too slow, it's all going too slow. And our body runs according to precision balance. Can you see why? Ideally, the cell is slightly acid, so you get that speed of working in all your little chemical reactions. The gardener aims for a soil pH of 6.4. Very close to the cell. The Bible says in Genesis 3:19, we come from dust, we go back to dust, we're dust. Interesting to note that the soil and the cell, very similar pH. But in a cellular pH of 5.5, that is where cancer thrives. And in a cellular pH of 5.5, this is where fungus thrives. And earlier in the week, we looked at the fungal link with many diseases. Where does Coca-Cola sit? 2.6. That's Coke. And it might come as a great surprise to you, but some people drink it. It's true. Many are sick through ignorance. They don't realise it. You have a look at Coca-Cola, the most fantastic advertising campaign that's ever been embarked on surrounds Coca-Cola. And you know why? Because they've got nothing else.
When you drink something as acidic as Coca-Cola, your body has to work hard to neutralize that acidity. This is necessary to maintain the balance required for proper cellular functions. The body uses minerals, mainly calcium, to buffer this excess acidity. Often it pulls calcium from bones and teeth, which can weaken them over time. This is why a diet high in acidic foods and drinks can lead to health problems like osteoporosis and dental issues. To stay healthy, it's important to eat a balanced diet that supports the body's natural pH balance. This includes eating plenty of fruits and vegetables, which are generally alkaline forming, and cutting back on highly acidic foods and drinks, like sugary beverages and processed foods. Drinking clean, mineral-rich water is also crucial as it helps flush out toxins and keep cells healthy.
So there are 2 main things that cause reflux or heartburn. And one is eating too late at night, and the other is, on top of that, the stress. Everyone that comes to Misty Mountain Health Retreat with reflux or heartburn goes home without it. Because we serve breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, tea like a pauper. And if they have a reflux problem, I give them magnesium 4 times a day with the 2 main meals, with the thin soup we serve at night, and then just before bed, and they have no more. Now, what most people go on if they have reflux is Nexium. You've heard of Nexium? And all Nexium does is stop the acid, so the acid doesn't come up. But that makes no sense at all. What's going to break the protein down now? And do you know what research is showing? People that have been on long-term Nexium, they're finding that they are more susceptible to colon cancer because the food's not getting broken down properly in the stomach. It gets down to the large colon. Excess bacteria has to be made to deal with the partially digested protein that actually can start damaging the wall of the colon. And when someone says to me, I've been on Nexium 10 years, is it working? Is it working? I'd like to suggest not, because if the body's designed to heal itself, it should heal. It should heal very, very quickly. It will heal itself if you give it the right conditions.
Another key factor to consider in managing reflux or heartburn is the role of diet. Avoiding spicy, fatty and acidic foods can significantly reduce symptoms. Instead, incorporating more alkaline foods, such as leafy greens, bananas, melons and oatmeal, can help balance stomach acid levels. Staying hydrated and eating smaller, more frequent meals rather than large ones can also aid in digestion and reduce the likelihood of reflux. Additionally, lifestyle changes can make a big difference. Elevating the head of your bed by a few inches can prevent acid from travelling back up the esophagus while you sleep. Avoiding tight clothing that can put pressure on your abdomen is also helpful. Lastly, managing stress through activities like yoga, meditation and regular exercise can lower the risk of stress-induced reflux.
The stomach should be acid. But when the lemon goes into the gastrointestinal tract, the enzymes break the lemon down to two singular particles, one's glucose and one's fructose. Then they're absorbed into the blood. Then the blood takes it to the main project manager, liver. And then the liver breaks the fructose down to glucose, and the glucose gets sent to the cell. We're following the journey of the glucose from the lemon. Comes through the 20-step pathway, comes into the 8-step pathway. This pathway, this little pathway, is often called the furnace. It's also called the powerhouse. For those technical amongst us, this is the glycolytic pathway, this is the mitochondria with the Krebs cycle. So the Krebs cycle is basically that little 8-step pathway. So the glucose and the oxygen are burnt in there to give off the energy. And all matter on planet Earth, when it is burnt, leaves an ash. And the ash that's left in the cell can be the acid or alkaline, depending on the food we eat. Lemon is acid where it should be in the stomach, and it is alkaline where it should be, which is down at the cell. What determines the difference? It is the mineral composition of the plant or the food. So these foods here are high in the alkaline minerals, which is sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and iron. They are the main alkaline minerals, and these foods are high in those alkaline minerals, so they're burnt at the cell, they leave an alkaline ash. That's why these foods here are the alkaline forming foods. And these foods, which we will look at in a minute, are the acid forming foods. Well, what minerals do they have? They have sulfur, which is an acid mineral, and chlorine, and phosphorus. They're the acid-forming minerals. Let's move on our alkaline list. Dark green leafy vegetables. Dark green leafy vegetables are very high in the alkaline minerals. We should be eating dark green leafy vegetables every single day. Have you had a nice big dark green salad today? Some people say, oh, but it's hard in the winter when it's cold. Well, you can heat up your salad with cayenne pepper and crushed garlic. I can assure you it'll heat it up. You see, raw food will deliver what cooked won't, and cooked will deliver what raw won't. We need to be having, well, what I aim for is I aim for a 50 cooked and a 50 raw, and that will give a nice balance. Whether the food be cooked or whether the food be raw, it doesn't change the acid-alkaline, because it's the minerals in the plant that determine how it is burnt in the cell. Vegetables. Vegetables also have an alkaline effect. Now, before I define vegetables, let me just go back to dark green leafy vegetables. Now, this explains why things like green barley, spirulina, wheatgrass, green smoothies have become popular, because they are so alkaline. And as you can see from here, it is an acid environment basically that breeds disease. So we can do a lot to alkaline the tissues of our body by eating more greens. Vegetables. Most vegetables are alkaline forming, but there is a question mark with one group of vegetables. So one group of vegetables, for some people, has an acid effect, and for some people it has an alkaline effect. That's the tomato. It's the nightshade group of vegetables. Capsicum. In 2 weeks I'll be lecturing in America and I can't say capsicum, I have to say bell pepper. They don't know what a capsicum is. But I think here in New Zealand you call it capsicum, yeah? Sweet pepper. And potato. And I'm not referring to the sweet potato, but in New Zealand you call it kumara, don't you? But in Australia we call it the sweet potato. I'm not referring to that, I'm referring to what's commonly called the Irish potato. These are from the nightshade family, and if someone has an inflammatory condition in their body and they eat these foods, it can accelerate the inflammation.
When managing inflammation through diet, it's crucial to understand individual responses to different foods. While nightshades like tomatoes and potatoes may exacerbate inflammation in some people, others may not experience any adverse effects. This variation highlights the importance of personalised nutrition. In addition to focusing on alkaline-forming foods like dark leafy greens, incorporating a variety of anti-inflammatory foods such as fatty fish, nuts and berries can support overall health. Regularly consuming omega-3 fatty acids found in fish and flax seeds can help reduce inflammation. Moreover, staying hydrated and maintaining a balanced diet rich in whole foods can contribute to overall well-being. Monitoring how your body responds to specific foods and adjusting your diet accordingly is key to managing and potentially reducing inflammation effectively. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the importance of maintaining a healthy acid-alkaline balance. I hope you found this information insightful and useful for improving your overall health. If you have any questions or want to share your thoughts, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with all our latest content. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.